It's, oh, I'm putting together a birdhouse. My wife, one of the people in the office that she works with, has a son that's kind of a special needs person. So they asked me to make him a birdhouse so they can hang it outside the window. So I said, yeah, not a problem. So anyway, I just soaked this because what I'm going to do is I got a form over here I cut out right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this wet enough. I haven't got steam, or I do it with steam. But I'll do that. And then I can take this, once it soaks long enough, and I can bend it around that, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's getting wet. Steam would be a lot better. I just haven't got the... See? I mean, I could bend that quite a bit already. So I'm just going to soak some more. Again, steam would be 10 times better. But I got no way of steaming all that. I guess I can cut it in half and throw it in a pan and boil it. But at that point, I'll leave it in there, seeing that that's there. I got to dump that out too. But meanwhile, let's take a walk over here. I'll show you where that tree used to be and what we did. Actually, some of what I did and a lot of what the wife did. So the tower's doing good. The antenna's still up. I'm actually thinking about buying another wire, another dipole, but instead of getting a CF, get an OF. Now what CF and OF mean is center fed and off center fed. Center fed is CF. Off center would be OCF. And what that basically means is the center of the antenna is where you would, on a center fed, is where you would put your main feed coming in. Where on an off center, the antenna is 45 feet one direction, 95 the other, or 90 feet the other direction. So it's off center. Center would be equal on both sides. Anyway, the wife built 2 birdhouses. I give her credit. Did a nice little job. Okay? And we took a little bit of the remains from the old birdhouse that fell apart when the tree fell, because it had some old remains in there. We didn't take a lot, we just took a little bit, and we put them in these 2 birdhouses. You know, a couple tablespoons. And naturally we put cedar chips in there. Cedar chips help keep anything growing from beneath, you know, any type of worm or bacteria. Cedar chips are good for that. So a few little cedar chips, handful of cedar chips in there. And it also gives them something to bite with. So anyway, she put those 2 together and I just put them on a pole. This is one that was already on the tree that survived the fall. And that has a nest in it, but there's nobody living in there. And then I took the vine that I was able to peel off some of the tree and save, as you can see. Oh, and then I bolted that pole right in. The wife made it kind of look like sky blue. And I cut that and notched it out and bolted that in there with bolts and liquid nail and everything else. And that's where we're at. And then I took the vine that was growing up the tree and I was able to save some of it and then wrap it around there. So, you know, try to get it back to where it was basically. But it was naturally 20 feet high. So, oh, I just noticed I got another standing dead over there I could take down. See it? Right between there, right in there. I'm going to have to go over there and take a peek at it. Alright. Because anything that's up there that's dying, I'll just take it down, get rid of it. It's not doing anything. So, this one I'm going to see how it makes out. It doesn't, it's got little buds on it, but it doesn't seem to really want to leaf up on me. So I don't know. Next year, I guess. I'll give it another year. If it doesn't leaf up next year and it just buds, I'll drop it and take it from there. So I got a little one over there I got to drop. Everything else in there is good, so I don't have to worry about dropping any of that down there. So that's all good down there. Let me get out of the sun. There. I got this one I got to cut up. I got to come over here with the big saw for this one. Dropped it down in the hole. Now this one was already down, by the way. I didn't drop this one. This one, if you remember right, used to lay right across here. And the fence used to be on this side. Then we opened up the fence and moved it over there. So now the fence is opened up, and this tree used to be in the way. I'm saying, you know what, that's kind of a pain in the ass there. So, you know, because I can't get in here with the tractor, I can't clean anything, you know. So I said, you know what, let me push it over in the hole with the tractor so it's on an angle, and then I can just start cutting it down. And once I get the top part cut off, I can drag it out of there and cut the rest of it off. So, and then I can get in there and clean all this up. So that's where we're at. And I got to cut that little stump down. And I got to take care of this stump. Didn't even notice it, but after I got rid of all the fire bushes, I realized we got a stump there and a fence. Nikki, I know Nikki can do this. Nikki can jump up on that stump and then he's over the fence. So I got to get that stump cut down some. Not even all of it, but I gotta cut, at least cut it in half and then cut it down. I gotta take away anything there that's going to make him feel comfortable on jumping over it. And then this one I want to cut it off, not because they can get over the fence with it, but because it's just in the way. And I'm really thinking, I've got a line up here, a rope. You see it right here. Okay, that goes up into there. Well, a tree fell on it up there. Now that's all ours too, but eventually I want to get all this fenced in. But fence it down this way over here. But this rope here, so what I'm thinking of doing is I can go from here, where that stump is, behind that rock right there, over to the rope, and then I can hear the little thing, acorns falling. Then I can come down where that fence is, where that line is with the fence, and then take it down this way. And I got it to this tree right now, but I can take it right on down through there if I want to, and start getting all that fenced in. Now I know you can't see it, but you might be able to. Let me see if I can zoom in. I don't know if you can see it. I don't even know if I can see it right there. Yeah, there it is. There's a little bit of fence. If I can find my finger. Whoop, there we go. Right there you can see a little bit of fence. That's all the way in the back corner. I've got 8 foot going in 2 directions, so it's an 8 foot corner, 8 and 8. And that's the corner property. So eventually I want to go down into that corner and all the way across the whole back. I never did it because we were supposed to move last year, if you guys remember right. Last October we were supposed to be gone. But the wife had a change of heart, so I took care of that. So if that's the case, if we're going to be here, I'm going to take all this property and make it usable, because this is all ours. Now, I mean, I can go down there now, but I got to keep opening the gate, you know, and then close the gate, make sure the boys don't get through when the gate's open, you know. And if I walk back and forth to the house, I'm walking like 700-800 feet to get to the house, to put them in the house for a minute so I can walk back here, open the gate, drive the tractor through, close the gate, go walk another 800-900 feet back to the house to let them out, you know, and then walk back another 800-900 feet to get back to the tractor. Anyway, it'd be a lot easier if this was just all fenced in. Now down here, again, I don't know if you can see it or not, but down there, there's a tree that's going across, okay, and there's a little dugout under there. At one time I was able to drive the tractor under that, and that's where we usually keep the feed when we feed the deer and the coyotes and things. All right, it's just one of those things. If I feed them here, I keep them away from the hunters, because this is, you know, no hunting here. And like I say, feed them here, they come here because they all hang out over in there. This year where they got a place to come and feed and be safe. Plus there's enough overhang and brush even in the wintertime there to where they can actually tuck themselves in if they want to. And then over on the other side of this mess that you can't see, am I zoomed out? Let me zoom out, I'm sorry guys. Okay, anyway, that's over there. Then over behind here where you can't see, there's actually a, the way the trees are all laid over one another, it's like a little cave. And in the wintertime, the coyotes, believe it or not, kind of like huddle in over there. So, I know we sound like fools, but, you know, we feed the deer. You know, we go through a lot of deer feed. And then for the coyotes, actually, I go up to Walmart and I buy 50 pounds of feed, you know, dog food for like 20 bucks a bag. It's cheap, you know, and what I'll do is I'll just take the bag and I throw it over the fence and, you know, and let them have at it basically. And I do that once a week. So, anyway, you're not supposed to really be feeding wildlife, but it's just one of those things, you know. Anyway. That's where we're at with that. That's my hole. You really can't tell the depth, you know, as to where I'm at here. But that's that. There's some more fence I got to put up. There's 2 rolls there. There's another roll on the other side over here. I don't mean to be taking you around to this video as long as I'm making it. I gotta take this piece of tree over too, because that's gotta get cut up. And then there's more fence over here. Well, there was. I know I got it over here someplace. There's another roll of fence underneath all this stuff. And there's all our bamboo. That's doing real good. If I get over there with the tractor, I can just drive on all this because I've already cleared this enough to know that I can drive on this and there's nothing there that's going to tip me over or that's not strong enough to support me. So I know how it is because I've already cleaned that once and they just grew wild. So, and then there's also a couple pieces of fence that I've got double fenced because I had no place to just throw it, so I just hung it. So anyway, I gotta get all that done too in there. On the other side of that, that's all fence eventually. It's actually a nice piece of property if I can get it the way I want. Yeah, and then down here we got more bamboo. This is where the tracks are. I told you, the tracks back here, when we first bought the place, the tracks were those old tracks that, you know, kind of a picturestic type track, you know, it had the little flowers growing in between the wooden, what you call it, the beams and all, and it was nice. They hardly ever used it, you know, it was great. So, but now, forget about it. But anyway, here's some more bamboo. What I did was I planted this and made a living fence basically. Now there is a 6-foot fence behind that, page fence. So, and normally as a rule we used to keep all this clean. I mean, it just went nuts this year, you know. Nothing wants to grow except for weeds. These blossom like crazy every spring when they come up, and they grow and they spread. The plan is to have those spread enough to take up over the weeds, because wherever they go, the weeds stop growing. You know, so what I do is every spring, wherever they haven't spread, I go and I buy more, because they're something like $30 for 5 or something like that. So they're not super expensive. And as you can see, they grow down over the cylinders, which is nice. So, but usually this is all, I keep this clean, and we were going to plant, you know, grass and things down here, but I just couldn't keep up with it this year. You know, between working on the shack, you know, the shop and things, and doing other things. Now that's a different bush. I've never seen that bush before. That looks like it might be an offspring to the Cleveland pear tree. No, it can't be. So, anyway, there we are. But the dogs like it. They come back here and they run through this and play in it. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But like I say, the fence would normally go all the way down behind all those trees, all the way down to the corner post that I showed you from the other end, and then all the way up behind all those trees, all the way up and around that rock. Eventually, that's my plan. So, and the tower's doing well. And the boy's little thing is doing okay. So, and block splitters splitting. Got all this cleaned up. This all used to be the garden over there, if you guys remember right. We decided to move it, and it didn't work this year. We lost the whole garden. So, but anyway, next year we should be a good garden. And then back there is where I put the sacrificial garden. And I didn't do that this year. That's probably the problem. See, we had a lot of our garden was eaten. Yeah. I forgot to put up the sacrificial garden. See, I usually put a garden back there. I'll put, 2 or 3 tomato plants. I put a pepper plant, strawberry, stuff like that back there. And I just let it go. I forget about it. Let nature take it. And the wildlife goes to that garden because it's back out of the way. And the boys don't go back there, too much. So that's where the safe eating is, and they wouldn't come to the garden up front. So I forgot to put that garden in. That's why our garden was getting eaten up, and what didn't get eaten up just died. I think we had grubs. So, all right, anyway, that's it.